Hi everyone, it's me, Ali, your melanin sister, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Melanin Masterclass, where we refresh, renew, and reveal a new you for a life you love. On today's episode of Melanin Masterclass, we're going to be talking a little bit about the business of philanthropy and global impact. But before we go into today's video, please give this video a like or subscribe if you'd love to hear more from our channel. And just like anything and everything you love, please share it with your friends and everybody you meet. That will be your gift of philanthropy today and your social impact. Got that? You like that? All right. So as I was saying, today's topic will focus on the business of philanthropy and social impact, because I'm not sure if you're aware, but according to studies, the wellness industry by the year 2024 will reach $22 billion. And a lot of us have so many talents and skills in helping others. We like to volunteer. We love to give back. We just want to help. Why not take your passion for helping others and put this into a business, right? But how do you do that very well? Today we have a special guest. Her name is Robin F. Baker, and she's co-founder of GoTHERAPY. Now, Robin is also an occupational therapist, just like myself, but she's done so much in the business of social impact by forming GoTHERAPY and has affected the lives of individuals all over the globe. Robin has helped patients in Liberia, in Ghana, in Costa Rica, in Haiti, in St. Martin, in Dubai. She has just been a foot strong soldier in the business, and she loves volunteering. She loves giving back to others. She was a Forbes Under 30 fellow. She's received numerous awards in her hometown for her business, again, for volunteering, for giving back to people with disabilities, and all the work that she's done in making a social impact footprint. Now, today we'll be talking a little bit to Robin about how she developed GoTHERAPY, why, and if you are interested in getting into the business of philanthropy or social impact, we would love to help you to continue this discussion about, maybe the tools that you need and what the secret has been for Robin. So without further ado, please join us and welcome our guest, Robin F. Baker from GoTHERAPY.
Robin, oh my goodness, thank you so much for joining us. Well, thanks for joining me. There's nobody else here. Robin is our fellow occupational therapist. It's so awesome to meet other professionals in the same field. And I was super excited when I came across, the work that you do. And when I read about GoTHERAPy, and I could not help but okay, everybody needs to know about this, because it's like such out of the box thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when you think about ideas, and many of us, we're thinking about going into business and we're thinking about all these different ideas. When we graduate college, we're gonna enter a job and just work, right?
Right.
It takes a special or more of a creative out of the box mindset to really truly use your profession and then go into a different direction. So now, Robin, tell us, what is GoTHERAPy and what is it all about?
So GoTHERAPy is a nonprofit organization that is primarily helping stroke survivors to improve their access to occupational, physical, and speech therapy services. So essentially, we're helping these individuals to walk again, talk again, and be able to engage in their daily activities. And most of the work that we're doing right now is based in Ghana, where we just opened up the first community occupational therapy center in the country, where primarily we're focused on serving individuals who are living with chronic health conditions, such as stroke, such as hypertension. So it's been a very exciting year for us over here at GoTHERAPy.
Wow, that's amazing. So, when you, so tell me a little bit about, the beginning of your journey. Why you decided to start GoTHERAPy and, where the idea came from.
So really, GoTHERAPy is a promise to my mom. So my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in my sophomore year of college and end up passing away, transitioning my senior year. And so before, we were having conversations about end of life, one of the things that she really honed in on is that she wanted me to live a life of service, and she wanted me to be sure that I invested my time, my energy, my resources into and onto the continent, specifically Liberia and neighboring countries. So I'm Liberian American. And so it was really important to her that I did work on the continent, because she knew that she wouldn't have the opportunity to do so. And so for a lot of years, I didn't know how that would happen, but it just so happened that I went to Howard University for my OT degree, and I studied abroad. I did a clinical rotation in Costa Rica. And finally, it was that aha moment where I realized, like, okay, illness is universal, but access to healthcare services is not. And I was like, if there's an issue with access to OT, PT, SLP in Costa Rica, there has to be issues with the same things on the continent. So I started looking into Liberia, and it was a time of Ebola. And I was like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, what's the next best country? Oh. And I ended up in Ghana. So really, I think that GoTherapy is really my heart's work, and it's really just a tribute to my mom and making sure that I'm using my skill set to be able to be of service to, my fellow brothers and sisters that are on the continent, specifically in the western part of the continent.
Okay, so that's awesome. Great story. What other countries apart from Liberia and Ghana have you, been involved with? What, just those two countries, or have you been involved with people in different other countries?
Yeah, so I've done Costa Rica. Haiti was one of my first trips where I visited an African nation, and I was just always torn between, did I want to do the work in Haiti or did I want to go to the continent? And so I did Haiti, then I did Ghana, Liberia. I've visited a few places in St. Martin, as well as Dubai. And so I've had like this really rich experience to see how OT looks like in other areas. But I still have to say that really my heart has always kind of drawn me to the continent, specifically Ghana and Liberia, being the two areas and two places that we're doing the most work at.
Awesome. So now, I think the question that everyone has now, so you have this great idea, great concept. How did you take that concept, that idea, and your skills in therapy and put it all together? Like, what was the creative process to do that?
So I started out as just being a medical volunteer. So I volunteered with other nonprofits, and I realized that I've always had an issue with medical tourism, because it's this feel-good experience for the volunteer themselves, but it's not sustainable for the organizations that you're usually partnering up with. And so when you're looking at allied health, usually there's not enough clinicians on ground to maintain the work that you're doing as a volunteer. And so for me, I knew that there was a gap, and I knew that I didn't want to go into medical tourism, but I wanted to make a sustainable, long-lasting impact. But that also meant that it was going to be a long game. It was going to take me longer to achieve these goals. And it meant that I needed to find the perfect partners that were going to be willing to be in it in the long haul when it came to sustainability, when it came to ecosystem building, when it came to collaborations with universities. So really, it started out by just volunteering my services and realizing that there was a gap that I could potentially fill.
How did you get your team together? Just like how this, this channel is about the master class. How did you build together your mastermind team? How did you get your team together to help you to get the project going?
So I have a co-founder. His name is Christopher Gaskins. He's also an OT, and he's a Howard University alum. And so I met him through mutual friends, and he was just interested in work on the continent, specifically in Ghana. And he reached out about connecting him with a professor in Ghana. I was like, oh, that's easy. And so our conversations just started from there. And I just knew that he would be the perfect co-founder because he had the same vision. He was forward thinker. He's just an out of the box thinker. And being partnered with him meant that there was no idea that I could present to him that he would be like, nah, we can't do that. He was always like, nah, let's think bigger.
So how was he kind of different from you? What was the partnership? How did the partnership work? What did he have that you didn't have? What did you have that he didn't have?
So he's a very analytical thinker. He is great with science and technology. And so I can have these grand ideas about how things could work on the ground, on the grassroots level. And he's the operations type where, okay, well, this will be great to collect data on this. And if data shows us this, and he's great with research. So it made sense that the work that you're doing, especially in healthcare, you need to have data that's coinciding with it. And so he has that data mindset. He's currently getting his PhD at the University of Maryland in neuroscience. So he's coming with all these ideas that I just can't even keep up with.
So you're like the innovator and he's like that analytical mind that puts everything together. So that's a good point too. So when you're thinking about doing things and, you know, business ideas, always good if you don't have all the answers to partner with someone that can complement you and you work together to get this.
Right.
Okay, so tell me, like, so when you go over to different countries and different, are you scared? Are you nervous about the unknown? I mean, how do you just get up and go and do all these different things?
Honestly, I just was never nervous. I was like, okay, I'm going, family, I'm out, y'all. I'll let y'all later. I just never came from it from a point of fear. I just always been intellectually curious. And so I was more curious about what was life going to be like in Ghana. And so I knew that I needed to make that full-time transition and move. And I was like, well, the worst that could happen is that things go terrible and then I could come back to America. But the best that could happen is that I could find friends and partners and I could learn more about myself. And so I just kind of look at things more through the lens of opportunity versus fear, because I mean, we can't live our life in fear. I mean, life is going to move on regardless if you step out on faith or not. And so I just decided to just leap out on faith and see what happened. And I mean, it turned out pretty well for me so far. There's been definitely challenges, but if I had to do it again, I definitely would do it again.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so nice to hear, because a lot of times, us, as women, we have these ideas and we don't know what to do with it. You're just saying, take your idea and find a way and go with it, right? As long as you're passionate about it and you want it to work. If you can't do it on your own, you partner with someone who can assist you along the way, whether it's a partner or a mentor or something. Right.
Right. And I also think a big thing is that you don't have to have all the answers. So you might want to start a business around something else, but I think it's okay to actually pilot things. For us, we piloted our stroke community reintegration program. We didn't know that it was going to be successful. We just knew that stroke survivors could show the most benefits from rehab services. And so we piloted the program for now, this will be our 2 years straight. And through the pilot of that one program is how we were able to find the right partner to open up this community occupational therapy center. So sometimes you don't need to have all the answers, but you could just start somewhere, but just starting a pilot and starting off really small, knowing that you can't solve all the problems in one setting, but just pick away one portion of the problem and do it well.
Okay. All right. The biggest question, one of the biggest questions on my mind is, like finances. How do you go about, raising money, getting people to participate? What has been your key to doing that for these projects? If people are curious and they're like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have the money, or, what has been the one or two key things that has allowed you guys to make such progress and, despite maybe whatever odds there might have been?
I think the biggest thing is storytelling, right? So even when we weren't able to find funding, we were funding the projects ourselves because we knew that it was important work. And just because you can't find a funder doesn't mean that you can't do the work. So for a very long time, Christopher and I, we funded our projects, but we knew that through telling our stories, by connecting with local leaders, by just doing the work, that we would attract people who will want to invest. And so that's exactly what happened, just through storytelling. And we got our first major investment, really seed, through the New Wave Foundation in Baltimore. And that was just by us being in the right place at the right time, telling our story and really serving others, being a service to the organization, and just being around, really just being around.
That's all. Okay, very good point. So networking then. So networking, storytelling, and being authentic and reaching and having people see that you're really trying to do the greater good, right? Connecting with other people and just telling your story. I think that's a really, really important part that people often forget. Like, they're trying to get into business but then they forget the human part of it, right? yourself don't have, that big, bag of money sitting there that you need, and you're going to need people to help you, it's important to, number one, network, as you said, right? Be in the right places at the right time. You've got to get out there. You have to move around. You have to tell your story, and you have to connect with other people. And you mentioned some volunteering, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I've served other organizations. I've also served other nonprofit organizations. And for me, when I'm serving other organizations, it's just from a standpoint of sometimes being the leader of your own social impact organization is exhausting. And sometimes you just want to solve someone else's problem just so that you could step away from your own and just regroup and rebuild. And so it was really through a service to another organization that they were like, oh, wow, okay. If we ever get the opportunity, we're going to make sure that we sow a seed into the work that you're doing. So you just have to continue the work regardless if you have an audience or not, because people will find you. And I mean, I think that's the beautiful part about this for me is that we've been doing this work since 2016, and now people are finally finding us. And it's like, y'all, we've been at this, but you don't need an audience to do quality work. You don't need an audience to do quality work. You just do it and you do it well. And the people who are going to find you, your audience will find you throughout the journey.
Yes. So persistence, right? So continue to do what you're doing, do it well, tell your story, network, and continue, persevere, be persistent, keep going. Mm-hmm. Even sometimes when you don't see it going your way, there will be hiccups, because I'm sure you had some hiccups. Some days you're like, oh no, I don't think I can do this. Right?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
You've got to pick up the pieces and just keep going, momentum. And as you said, the right people will find you.
Yep, they always do.
Awesome. So Robin, thank you so much. And what is just like a quick takeaway to, anyone that might be, watching us today? What's a quick takeaway that, advice that you can give to anyone who's thinking about going into the business of philanthropy, whether they're already in, healthcare, whatever career field they're in, and they're thinking about doing something like this? What's the best advice you could give?
I would definitely say lead with passion, but take inventory of yourself and acquire the skills and knowledge that you need so that you can be successful in whatever it is that you're doing. So yes, I'm in the social impact field, but I have a background in OT. So I've used OT as the foundation, and all the skills that I needed to acquire throughout the journey to make GoTherapy successful, I have done those things because I know that my degree alone, my passion alone is not going to be the thing that sustains me. And so I need to continuously be learning. I need to continuously be curious, and I just need to continuously be in rooms and places with people who are going to challenge me to dream big and just really and honestly invest in myself and in my dreams.
Awesome. That's very good advice. You have to continue to keep learning, use your skill sets, but just keep moving. Nothing is going to come to you by just sitting. So just always have a curious mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Keep adding things into your tool set. Add it, keep adding it in.
A basket, an egg here, an egg there, just keep.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Robin. I'm hoping that everyone got something out of this conversation with Robin F. Baker. If you'd like to reach her, Robin, how can anyone reach you if they would like to either get involved with GoTherapy or reach out to you in general? What's the best way to reach you and GoTherapy?
The best way is Instagram. My name is OT with the Fro, obviously. Branding it.
I love it.
With the Fro. And on LinkedIn is Robin F. Baker, and to find out more information about GoTherapy, www.gotherapyinc.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And as usual, it's me, Allie, your melanin sister.
Thank you so much, Allie, for this opportunity.
I will see you in our next episode of Melanin Masterclass.